Thank you very much, Simon. Well, I think I'm the last presentation, so I'm between, I don't know, you have shopping, traveling, pool, beach, whatever. I was gonna make it really quickly, so I'm gonna change a little bit the context of the presentation because, well, it's the last one. So it all started with a simple question. We've been talking about AI these last 2 days, and it's always, hey, you're gonna ask the question, you're gonna search results. So to us, it happens the same. I'm gonna ask you now a really quick question. How many of you, no, because we are in USA, how many of you have a friend of a friend that had visited a web page to download movies? Please raise your hand. You know someone who visited a page? Not you, I know here in USA. Come on, everyone should raise their hand, come on. So if you go to the ChatGPT and you ask, could you suggest me the 10 best web pages to download movie? The answer would be, I cannot suggest you that, that's illegal, you should take care of, etc., etc., etc. But if you ask another question, could you tell me which web pages are used to download movies that I should avoid visiting? It will rank you the 10 best web pages to download movies. So at the end of the day, it's the same question with a different angle. And you get the answer. Try it. So this 360 LATAM, it started with a question. How is the weather in Uruguay? This is true. It was a conversation I was having by phone with an Australian shareholder of our company. I will not say the name. Someone I knew a lot. We had at least 15 calls during, I don't know, 1 year, 1 year and a half. And as Simon mentioned, Infocasas was part of this FTB group that has operations in LATAM, MENA, and Asia. But it was supposedly that Infocasas was let's say, a good example of how they invested on a startup and it grew, and it was doing something different and making a lot of revenue. So before this, I will put you a little bit of context, Uruguay. Maybe some of you knew Uruguay about soccer. It's not football. Soccer here is called football. Luis Suarez, one of our best strikers. Mate, if you see a Uruguayan, this is Uruguayan, not Argentinian. If you see a Uruguayan, goes with this, it's like a kind of tea. Everyone walks like this, drinking mate everywhere. Or you can know us because this beautiful city is called Punta del Este that has a lot of foreign people going, and a lot of Americans actually go and retire to Punta del Este. But this is really quickly because I'm really proud of our country. We also have international transparency regarding Latin America. I will talk with all due respect. I don't know if here's Argentinian, Brazilians, whatever. But we have one of the less corruptions in all Latin America. We are always in number 1, number 2 in all these rankings. Regarding international transparency, the same. Political, economic, and social stability, one of the best democracies in the world. Pro-investment policies, you can come to our country, we're going to receive you, we're going to treat you well, and it's equal to the Uruguayans. Technology hub, yesterday we were talking about also internet connections. 85% of Uruguayan homes have fiber optic internet access. Well, you cannot imagine, with all this Latin America crisis politics, the amount of money Uruguay has received in the last 10, 15 years from Colombia, from Peru. Argentina is incredible, Brazil, Chile, whatever you can imagine. Uruguay is receiving a lot of investments. And this is one of the best ones, software exporter. Uruguay is per capita the 3rd country in the world that has the most software exporter. So why I put you on this context? Because Uruguay is only 3 million inhabitants in population, so you gotta be creative. It's a really small market. So you gotta always try to see what's coming. You have to be aggressive. You have to be creative. You have to be innovative. So our company started in 2010. It started like a magazine, typical real estate magazine, but we know we want to move to tech and to a real estate browser at that moment, and then push forward and see where we ended. In 2017, this group we were talking about, this Australian fund, I don't know, private equity, VC, it's a mix between all these things, invested in us. They invested 30%, they purchased 30% of the company. I remember I was at that moment in a Lisbon event in Property Portal Watch, and I told the news there. Then in 2020, they decided to acquire the rest of the company. It was a little bit before COVID, so it was a deal that ended this last December. So basically what happened? We come back to this simple question. How is the weather in Uruguay? Many of you may not know, but if you are talking to a shareholder, that Infocasas is like a really good story. It represents a lot of money to the company. You should know where it is. I was talking to this guy that was in Sydney. The dot there between Argentina and Brazil is Uruguay. If you get a little bit of geography, you trace horizontal line, latitude, that's Sydney. So the answer is the same. The weather is the same as you. It could be rainy, but it's the same. I say, look, yeah, we are in winter, as you are. This was July, winter for us. We're in winter as you in winter. Hey, wait, why are you in winter? Yeah, because we have the same climate as you. I thought you were on the northern hemisphere. That was the answer. At that moment, I said, so I can understand many of you don't know where Uruguay is, but if a shareholder doesn't know, you are at least on the southern hemisphere. I said, and Infocasas at that moment had operations in Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Peru. At least 4 markets in the southern hemisphere. So I said, going back to the AI question, so the answer could be the weather is rainy, 20 degrees, whatever, or the answer could be let's go and do an IPO in the USA. And that's how 360 LATAM started. Our hypothesis was, what are we doing listed on Australia? With all due respect, the Aussies don't care about us. They even don't know where we are in the world. So why don't we start building a project where we merge all these LATAM assets FDB owns, and we go to NASDAQ in USA. And that's how it all started. And today, these 4 companies that we have people here from all 4 companies are Yapo in Chile, Infocasas in the countries I mentioned to you, Fincaraiz in Colombia, and E24, Encuentra 24 in all Central America. Jessica yesterday was also presenting E24. So altogether, we got 35 million sessions, 4 million leads, 2.5 million listings. We're in 12 countries, and it's a team of more than 400 people. And one of the incredible things is that we speak the same language. We have almost the same time zone. It's just only 1 hour difference. The max difference between Central America and Uruguay is 1 hour, so it's really easy. We share a lot of the same culture, and I repeat, we speak the same language. You know, when we need to do a call with someone of Australia, you gotta do it at, I don't know, 11 p.m., 10 p.m., you know, it's really complicated. We have different cultures, and that's something that it's always, you know, we try to be quick, no bureaucracies, doing things ASAP, innovative, and maybe, you know, when you work with someone so far away, things start to, you know, to be a little bit different. So say, look, we are all together here. Let's join. Financial opportunities, product and tech. We can share product and tech. We can share marketing optimization, scale efficiency. There are a lot of things that make sense. Until last year, every company was run totally independently. And obviously, know-how opportunities. Infocasas had a lot of experience. We get 2 transactions in 2017. So I think we were one of the first real estate portals that we're getting closer to transactions, and actually today we have more revenue in transactions than in classifieds. And all this learning curve, we can share it, and it makes sense. So one of the things we started really quickly, let's share some of all the stuff I just mentioned to you. We started 1st of October last year. By the end of the year, we got savings of $2.7 million for this 2023, cutting costs or cutting tools or building some efficiencies. We maintained the same revenue and we increased the EBITDA 187%. We had net cash positive from operating activities. Today that it's mandatory, or it's much more value than burning cash. And for example, this is a great thing we are really proud of. Yapo is the Chilean company, it's a marketplace, and for the first time, it ended a month in EBITDA positive. And I'm telling you all, with all due respect this. First month, not in the history, it had never one month been EBITDA positive. So we could achieve it and with the same revenue or growing. So sometimes if you join teams, you join people, you let them work, I think amazing results happen. So how we see the future with all this consolidation stuff I've been talking about. So we see that classifieds, portals or marketplace, at least if you see the trends, they are slowly decreasing. On long term, they're decreasing. We were talking about AI and if that's going to be the way the properties are going to be search, cars, whatever, but something is going on, so you need, or we believe, we need to start thinking about new ideas or new things. And we have the luck that Infocasas, as being a small market in a small country, tried a lot of things. And for example, it tried this transactional, what I explained, that we have more than 50% of our revenue in transactionals. So we are deploying transactions on other markets. We build a market agency that we realized that, for example, to developers, there's a maximum amount of money you can take them, at least on our cultures or our markets. No developers want to make you a $30,000 check per month. No, so say, look, I'm going to pay you 15, 20, whatever, that's the max I'm going to pay you. So how we can take more money? Well, we go with another company and we take them more money with that other company. And so we build a marketing agency. So in that case, Infocasas makes some solutions for them, and then we go with the marketing agency and we continue selling them. And now that's the agency yesterday Jessica presented. It's called Bricks. We are doing e-commerce. The marketplace, we're not into e-commerce. We launched Iris. It's an MLS of primary market or new developments for agents and brokers all around LATAM. And we are planning on doing some M&As. We are in conversations because it's a great moment. It's a great timing for companies that maybe are on one market or they are not growing or they have a little bit of, they are suffering. Join us. We can do a lot of efficiencies and go together to this idea of IPO in 2025. So what's our goal? And one of the things I want to be crystal clear, and I have to learn, this is not a promise. This is an idea, this is an objective. But this is not only the milestone and then we finish. This is part of a plan of a 10-year value creation plan we are trying to build for 2033. And this is what it makes sense when you say, hey, if someone in Australia doesn't value us, maybe someone in the USA really values us, or it has more opportunity to value us. Why? The first session on Wednesday, Malcolm Myers was talking about valuations of some real estate companies in USA, and actually talking about there was bad valuations or really small valuations regarding to historical prices, and it was talking about revenues times 10, revenue times 15. Our market cap in Australia is revenue times 2. No? So maybe we are not times 10 or times 15, but maybe we are times 6, times 7, times 8, whatever, but it's much more better than what's happening to us. So our idea is try to get a revenue of $100 million by 2025. We are on target to that, and try to get a times 10 multiple valuation. So that's our objective. This is what I was telling you about 2023, our plan for this 10 years. And then I'm going to finish a little bit, minutes earlier, so if anyone has a question, please feel free. The future can look like this. You never know. We come from Uruguay, you need to dream big. So we wanna do crazy things. We wanna do it on the markets in LATAM. We believe we have a great team, and we believe the things can happen if we work all together. So thank you very much. Open to questions.
Ricardo, thank you for that. First question, do you think investors in America will know which hemisphere you're in?
Yes, for sure. Yes.
That'll be the Western Hemisphere, right?
No. I know they will definitely.
Sorry, as an Australian, I do know what hemisphere you're in. We're not all like that.
I know.
I am married to a Peruvian, so I do have a slight advantage. But let's go a little bit deeper into the business model, right? Because you've got these 4 companies that have come together, Infocasas and Yapo and so on, right? But they operate in different markets and different models. Okay, so as you've brought these businesses together, what are 2 or 3 key learnings that you've had personally?
Yes, it's a great question. I believe that there are some things we can do together, and there are some things you continue to need to build locally. So that's the first thing I learned. You cannot execute everything in every market. You need to choose, and you need to adapt. But there are some things you can, let's say, merge or do all together. So one of the things I've learned really quickly is like, maybe we can share some tech, or for example, purchase some marketing in Facebook or Google Ads all together, but then the local team has some local marketing on its region or whatever. So you gotta be careful. We don't wanna be, there's some examples of other companies that went and tried to, for example, I can talk about Mercado Libre. They purchased a site, they want to do their UX experience. The site went from number 1 to number 4 because you gotta be locally adapt there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so any plans to go to Brazil or Mexico?
Well, actually, in Brazil, with Infocasas, we have a relationship, and we have a little bit of the company with Ronnie of Acubo. So we are running some tests there. The thing with Brazil, it's a continent by itself. It's another language, so you gotta be really careful there. And they're really big players. And Mexico, I've always think about Mexico, but it's too competitive. Now everyone is burning money, and in our company, every idea or every thing we test or try, it has to be EBITDA positive or cash flow positive. So I think Mexico right now, there's no clear winner, but for sure everyone's spending money and burning money.
Okay, so let's think a little bit about the current companies you've got and what you do. So let's take Infocasas. The business model is primarily transaction driven. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so are you doing the same as what Loft is doing, or are you doing something slightly different?
No. First of all, we started as a pure classified, and we moved to transactions. We are focused on primary markets, so new developments, and what basically we are doing for them is we have this hybrid model where we can give to the developer agents, or we can work with their agents of the developers. So we are selling their units with them or without them.
Okay, and then you lead manage the whole thing from the beginning to end?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to use the word AI in this, or at least the letters. How does that start to play a role in your business as you're managing end-to-end the transaction?
Well, I have the AI, we discuss this a lot. I think you got to divide it into the AI for the part of communication. I think that's a great advantage. We have a WhatsApp tool in LATAM. WhatsApp is really developed. Actually, when we run our campaigns through WhatsApp, we got 98% of response. So I believe AI on the flow of communication for WhatsApp, it's really good, and it will help us a lot in the sales process. But I think in the search, the problem regarding search is AI. It's not AI. The problem is, and I've read an article of Edmund and I share his vision. The problem is today AI is not a solution for putting the information on the listing. So the listing continues to be done by an agent or a broker that goes, takes 2-3 pictures, and price, location, bedroom, bathrooms, and that's it. In our countries, there's no exclusivity, so they want to put the listing really, really quickly. So what happens is that AI for that type is not a solution, because if you want to search, I want a flat with 2 bedrooms near the beach on a 4th floor, it's impossible because that's not on the metadata. So you cannot use it for that. We believe we can use it for the sales process right now, okay, for the communication.
We talked about in one of the previous sessions around automation of that communication process. Ted from Active Engage was sort of talking about the fact that it's an enabler or an enhancers, but having a human at the other end is what gets better results.
Yes.
Do you subscribe to the same view?
Yes. We have a tool that can start per day 80,000 conversations, fully automated. And it can do all the process. But when at some point of that communication, a human being interacts, the conversion shoots up. So we continue using the 2 models.
Okay. Being transactional means that you must care more about lead quality. How has your search product been modified to drive better leads?
Here, you can do lead quality, or you can have automated tools that work for you and tell you which is a lead quality or no. So you can we try to go to volume because we have some tools that help us filter the leads. So we go to volume, and then we also try to get better leader qualities. How you get it? For example, we are working with brokers and agents, get good information. The price has to be the right price, if it's available or not available. So we work with them, always trying to get better information, to have a better listing so we can have better leads.
Okay. Are you capitalizing on horizontal assets in markets where you operate verticals?
Sorry?
I got to think it should be a little bit the other way around, right? It's where you've got horizontal assets already. Are you diving deep into the vertical?
Well, that's part of what we are trying to. That doesn't mean we are going to launch vertical sites, but we're going to give better experiences with all the know-how we bring from the verticals. Yes.
Okay. So if you roll the clock forward, say next 3 to 5 years, apart from you and Elon Musk hanging out, putting real estate into orbit on Mars or wherever you're going to do it, right? But if you roll it forward, how has your business changed? How have the marketplaces you're operating fundamentally changed?
I think we will have much more business units regarding not selling leads or classifieds, but ancillary services we give to our clients. And every time we see, for example, you see classified, I don't know, if the market is like this, then you go to marketing, is much bigger, then you go to the commissions pool, and then you go. There's always more money when you start verticalizing one step forward or one step back, depending if you want to verticalize up or down. So we believe we're going to try to verticalize as much as we can on every market.
Yeah. I think what's interesting, we haven't really spoken about it. We've talked a lot about sort of AI, which at the end of the day is all about prediction and putting the right thing in front of the person at the right time to get a better conversion rate. The conversations we've had over the last few days have been primarily from the consumer side, right? What's happening? Or maybe internally. But I think one area that has a potentially interesting outcome is on the advertiser side. So let's take your real estate markets. if you have access and vision into what the agent is doing, where they are within a process around selling a house, and you have maybe some knowledge, you're getting all these data points that you're trying to pull together to work out what's the next best step, it would make sense to me that you could put the right product, because you're talking about all these products, right? The thing is, you've got to put it in front of the agent when they need it.
Yes.
Okay? And if you can predict that, well, I know tomorrow you're going to need this because I know that the customer is signing this contract and the next step in the process is this. So if I shove that in front of you now, I'm going to get a very high conversion rate. Versus, I've got a marketplace, I'm just going to wait for you to go to the marketplace and pull out the product that you want.
We are working exactly on what you just said. Yesterday, or I think it was today, you mentioned about, young kids, they don't want to search, they want things, told to them or be done to them. Agents are the same.
Yes.
If they can work less and collect the same money, they will do it. So we are trying to build solutions for them. So don't worry. If you want to do the contract process, we do it for you. If you don't want to go and show the property, don't worry. Just sit, we're going to do it for you.
But it's about prompting them at the right time.
Yes.
So the message pops up saying, well, we know that you've signed the contract, or we know that you've got someone who wants to go to the house to have a look. Well, we've got someone who can put them on the back of a taxi and take them out there.
Yes. We are working exactly right now on that. And we that's part of our revenue growth, because they start to see that they can work less and get the same money.
Okay, which makes a lot of sense. Are you thinking of developing new products beyond those that you're already doing?
Yes. We have some new products we are working, and I'm really hyped about.
Do you want to tell us?
No, I cannot.
You sure?
Yes.
You told us how much you're going to be worth in a few years, so you can tell us that much. Okay, you mentioned the classifieds business, marketing agency, etc. Do you also offer CRM systems to brokerages?
The answer is no, because we always, at the end of the year, when we say, hey, what we should develop, always CRM is there. We have the CTO sitting somewhere around there, and hey, we need to develop a CRM. No, it takes me a lot of time. So we are always trying to do an M&A with a CRM, and we couldn't find it. So we want to skip all the development of the CRM and try to bring someone to work with us. So I think it's mandatory to have it. We don't have it.
Okay, we can have a conversation, having been through both sides of that, both acquiring and then eventually selling, and then also building and getting it wrong in that process. Okay, and last thing, do you have any M&As in sight?
Yes, I'm working in 2, 3 at least. Now the problem with M&A is that it's not a good time for sale, so people need to realize that there's not the multiples that have happened, 2, 3 years ago, that you go ask whatever you could imagine and there was money. So it takes a little bit of more time, but what we are trying to do is all these M&As, and someone here is open to, is we're going to make them part of this IPO idea. So it's something that you could ride on, and you have a milestone for 2025 that maybe by itself it wouldn't achieve. So we are open to that.
Fantastic, Ricardo. Thank you very much. Good luck with building out 360 LATAM, and
thank you.
Good luck with you and Elon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.